Greetings everybody, Irv Lindsay here, here at Spring Grove Cemetery, just north of downtown Cincinnati. Right behind me here is the White Pine Chapel. It was constructed in 1859 and still stands today. In the 1950s, I don't know about today, but in the 1950s and for a long period of time, it was used to hold the bodies of those who were waiting to be buried. And so a very famous person was kept here, and it's very appropriate that for those of you that don't know, a man by the name of George Reeves played Superman. He died in 1959, and so his mom had his body brought here to be buried. That didn't happen the way she wanted it to. He eventually was cremated. But for about 6 months, his body was kept right here in this chapel. Spring Grove Cemetery is enormously old. It was dedicated way back in the 1800s, before the Civil War, early 1800s, and there's a lot of old stuff here. Right now I'm standing, if you can see this right here, standing in the Civil War area. This is the Unknown Soldier Memorial here at Spring Grove Cemetery. There's a lot of really old graves. The grave markers are so old and weather worn you can't even read them. There's a lot of really interesting stuff here. For instance, just over here and over there are a couple of monolithic memorials that are actually the just big giant cannon barrels standing on end. Very interesting. And so but that's not why I'm here. I am here to see the place of interment of another famous individual whose family is from Cincinnati. I kind of parked here on the side of the road, half in the grass. As you can see, I'm not the only one. There's not really places to park here. While I was shooting that first part of the video just now, one of the parked car, they were putting something on my window here. They were looking at my car. They were upset with me. Oh well, there's no place to park. Right behind me here is the White Pine Chapel. It was constructed in 1859 and still stands today. A very famous person was kept here, and it's very appropriate that for those of you that don't know, a man by the name of George Reeves played Superman back in the 1950s in a TV show by the same name, and he died in 1959 under mysterious circumstances. His family's from Cincinnati, And so his mom had his body brought here to be buried. That didn't happen the way she wanted it to. He eventually was cremated. But for about 6 months, his body was kept right here in this chapel. So Superman was kept after his death right here in this building. How appropriate, because we also know from a previous video I did not long ago that the Hall of Justice is also in Cincinnati. So when Superman died, how appropriate that they would have brought his body to this city. Let's go around back, see what we got. Make sure the car is locked. Thank you. So all of the graves around the White Pine Chapel, not all of them, there's a newer one. A lot of the graves around the White Pine Chapel are really old graves from like the 1800s. Some of the ones behind it look newer. So we're behind the White Pine Chapel. And as you can see, we're up on the side of a hill. And the White Pine Chapel kind of obviously goes further back than just the little tiny building that you can see from the street. And there are some beautiful trees here. Huge, enormous, really old, ancient trees. Look at that one over there. Two of me could stand side by side in front of that just to put it into perspective. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, Irv Lindsay, out here at Spring Grove Cemetery and from the White Pine Chapel here. And short video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.